Hello, uneducated businessman here, and today I want to talk about leadership. This is going to be done in a few parts. Leadership's a big topic, and I can't cover it in one video. I think if I tried to do that, it would just be far too complicated, far too boring, and I don't want these videos to be boring. I want them to be engaging. I want them to be easy to understand. So I'm going to break everything I'm learning down into sort of bite-sized chunks to make it more manageable and, it's easier for me to remember and talk to you about it. So luckily for me, leadership is something that I'm pretty good at now. I've had a lot of experience in leading people. When I first took on staff, I was an awful leader. I guess I used to dictate more than lead. I would go into the office and I would have bright ideas and I would gather everyone round and I would talk about my ideas, tell them what I wanted and talk for hours, and people would sit there and nod and agree and invariably just go off and do what they wanted because they didn't really understand what I wanted, didn't understand where I was going, and quite frankly they didn't buy into what I was talking about. It wasn't their ideas. They wasn't engaged with it. They wasn't excited about it. It was just something that I dreamed up, and they knew, give it a week or so, I'd have probably forgotten about it anyway, and they just got on with what I was paying them to do, and it never ever worked. And it wasn't until I realised that I'm not leading these people, I'm not engaging with these people, I'm actually alienating these people, that I really started to find different ways to get my team to work in a better fashion. And I did that through one easy tip, and this is the easiest thing you can ever do, but sometimes, and especially for people like me, it can be the hardest thing you'll ever do, and that's listen. We've got two of these and one of these. Now, I used to use this all the time, and most people do. We talk and we talk and talk and talk, and we don't really listen to anybody. We don't listen to what people want and we don't find out what they need, and we don't ask them their ideas. We don't get input from them. So they never really take ownership of anything. They never really buy into anything because they just don't feel engaged. When I started to listen to people, when I started to find out what they wanted and where they saw the company going and what they personally wanted to achieve, I worked out that I could create visions around what they wanted and implement these visions into my organisation that my staff was really, really happy with because they was part of it. They knew when we got to a certain level, they would get something and be rewarded. And that then made them more energized to get there. And it made us grow faster. It got us to our destination a lot quicker. Because before, it was all about me. I never took time to understand them. It was what I wanted, what I was going to get. And that was all I was focused on. And I would then invariably get frustrated because they wouldn't be doing the work. I would get in and do it all myself. They would sit back and watch me. So we either didn't grow or we grew very, very slowly because it was only me doing everything. And when you do everything as you only do it as one person. If you can get your team involved, if you can get them collectively working with you, then you can 10x, 100x, whatever, depending on how many staff you've got. If you've got 10 members of staff all working to the same goal, it's not just you working. Everything becomes easier. Everything happens quicker. But you've all got to be on the same page. You've all got to be working towards the same goal. And that's where a leader comes in. It keeps people on track. It keeps people moving forward. But to get to there, you have to all agree on where you're going, and you have to all be aware of where you're going, and you all have to buy into it. You all have to know that when you get there, you're going to be rewarded. So I always make sure my staff know, do well, I'll reward you. If you get there, if we achieve this as a group, you will be rewarded. So they know what they're going to get. So they want to get there. And I also let them know if they foul, I'll help them pick it up. I'm not going to go in there and bash people around or get rid of people. I'm just going to work out what went wrong and then put it right. Or we're going to work out what went wrong, and we as a group are going to put it right. Because the group is only as strong as the weakest member. So if we all help each other, I encourage all my staff to be leaders. If someone is failing, if someone is not doing well, let's pick them up. Let's get them working. Let's get them up to speed. If someone constantly falls behind, if someone constantly messes up, if someone constantly, has no interest, then maybe we need to part company and bring someone else in. But, to initially, before we get to that stage, we want to get everybody working, we want to get everybody involved. And that's the way a great leader will organise his team and keep it moving forward. Now, to do that, I ask two questions. Well, I ask a few questions, but I'm always asking questions of myself, and I'm always asking questions of my team. First question I'm always asking is, how can we as a group achieve more? I'm always asking, how can we achieve more? How can we better ourselves? How can we get more? Because you don't want to get to a level and that's it. You stop. Because when you do that as a company, boom, it's over. You're dead. You always have to be growing. So I'm always asking, how can we grow? How can we achieve more? But more importantly, I think I'm asking my team, how can you achieve more? How can you get more? How can you get more of what you want? Because I recognize the more they get, the more I get. And the more they get, the more they want to get. You get a team that want to achieve, it snowballs, it moves forward. So the biggest takeaway from this lesson today is listen. Ask questions, be interested in people, find out what your team wants, and then work out how you as a group are going to get what they want. Because when they start getting that, when they start believing in that, then they will move forward quicker and you will get more of what you want. Now, in the next episode, I'm going to talk about how to establish yourself as a leader. This is just about what leadership is and what you need to be looking for, what you need to be doing. Listen, ask questions, be interested, find out about your staff, find out about what's working well, what isn't working well, do less of what isn't working well, do more of what is working well, and always ask yourself, how can you grow? How can you do more? How can they grow? How can they achieve more? Do those things, and that's a great start with your leadership program. In the next episode, I'm going to be talking about how to establish yourself as a leader and things you can put in place to really cement this in. And I look forward to that, and I'll be back as soon as possible. Look out for it, subscribe, like. Any comments on leadership, please type in below. I'm happy to answer everybody personally and elongate as much as I can with my replies to really get this to hit home, because I do believe leadership is a massive topic. It's something very, very well worth learning. Hope that was enjoyable. Take care. I'll see you soon.